Why hello there, and welcome to my YouTube channel, and I will be your host, Timely. So, basically, I wanted to talk about my Ranger a bit more and how I'm building, the new things I'm doing and whatnot, and how I'm trying to optimize my Ranger's DPS. So, my last video, I was really a negative Nancy on my Ranger, and I was trying out new things. I remember last video I was talking about how I was doing Praise the Blossom with Smite, and then using the Ranger normal attack for the poison, and then using that to trigger the Smite. And I decided that it takes a little bit too much work to do that. Like, I don't think it's worth it. And when you're not in transformation, you're very, very vulnerable. So if you're trying to and the targeting in this game is very, very clunky. Like, it's hard to target players. Like, it's very random. You can't choose who you want to target. It's really weird. So it's a very awkward setup, and it's not worth it in my opinion. So I dumped that, and so now I have this build going on. So of course, Nature's Prayer, I only got it to skill level 5. When you keep upgrading it, that percent value for the max HP does not go any higher. The only thing that goes higher is 2180. And in my opinion, leveling it up to level 10 is not worth it, because the only thing that goes up is the 2180. Now, as the level cap keeps going higher, so do the HP pools. People will have more HP. Therefore, there would be a ton of diminishing returns, because you can only get it to skill level 10. That value will be stuck at skill level 10, and it will stay that value. So, is it really worth it wasting the 5 skill points to bring it up just for an extra 6k HP on your heal? No, in my opinion. What really matters for your heal is your attack, willpower, and intelligence. And there's nothing in here in this description that says when you keep leveling it up that it increases greatly. That greatly never changes. It goes greatly boosted by attack, willpower, and intelligence. That never changes. So you would think that leveling it up won't, increase your heals that much over time. It's just not worth it. So that is my opinion, and that is why I left it at skill level 5, just so I can get the passive. Or the Nature's Prayer, okay, 50% chance to grant a shield, a bubble, that absorbs damage equal to 30% of the healing done by Nature's Prayer, and it lasts for 8 seconds. Now, I honestly think that's a very, very good, very, very good passive, because that bubble is pretty much like it adds on top of your heal. Okay, I mean, it would be nice if we had like more damage mitigation, but a bubble will have to do. They have to pop the bubble. I mean, the bubble is very easy to pop, but at least you could survive one hit every time. It just, gives you a little bit more time to survive. So I think that's a good thing. So I wanted that. And then the same thing with the Enhanced Song of the Forest. The only thing that changes is the 1668. That'll go higher to skill level 10. It doesn't affect the damage done. It doesn't affect the greatly boosted. It doesn't affect the 7.5% of their max HP. So I left it at skill level 5. There will be diminishing returns as the HP pool keeps getting higher. Okay, but you could say that it is affected by I don't know. The wind speech says it increases the initial healing effect from Song of the Forest. So the initial healing effect, wouldn't you think that would be like the immediate, like right when you hit it, the initial healing effect, right when you pop it, you get a small heal. So wouldn't that be the initial healing effect? Maybe it'll increase it by a little bit more, but not as much. You'll still see diminishing returns as the HP pool keeps going higher. I mean, it could be a good investment if you get this to level 10, but still, you want your skill points. You want to have those skill points. Skill points is what makes the world go round, okay? So, and then next, I put the rest of mine into Fairy Sanctuary. Now, I really like Fairy Sanctuary a lot because it hits very, very hard, and it has a great passive, okay? It's better than this. 251% of attack plus 290, that is fucking garbo. Especially on an archer, because even though it has a very, very short cooldown, you are not going to be spamming this. This is better for a priest, okay? You're going to be doing your fairy arrow a lot, okay? You're going to be using your fairy arrow, and then you're going to be putting Power of Nature in your rotation. You're not going to add that much DPS by using this like once, like every once in a while your fairy arrow is done, okay? You would want Fairy Sanctuary. It does a lot more damage. Same thing with Praise of Blossom. It's not that high, 315% attack. I think it doesn't even go up to 500% attack. Maybe it goes higher, but it's still very, very lackluster in my opinion. It just doesn't do enough damage. Like, I think I played around with it. I was able to do like 20, 30k hit. Like, it's not good. Like, if you think about it, the HP pool is like, my HP pool is 200k. If I do like a 20k hit on a Praise of Blossom, and then even if I get the smite, I'll do like 28k damage, 28k damage. Like, that's nothing, and you're not gonna kill anyone, dude. It's doo-doo. Same thing, the Ranger normal attack. I was trying to use this last time. Horrible idea. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was trying to do new things, okay? And it's just not worth it either. You're not going to be using your normal attack like at all. You're just going to be spamming Fairy Arrow, and then every once in a while you can just pop your Fairy Sanctuary and then use your Fairy Arrow again. Now I really like the passive on the Fairy Sanctuary because it decreases the target's movement speed by 50%. Now it's huge. It's very, very big. It makes it very, very easy to track down enemies, okay? And then it reduces, and then it reflects 25% of the damage done, and it's reflected back to the attacker. Okay, so that's also a nice little icing on the cake, okay? Now, the main reason why I like the entanglement a lot. Now, let's go to the Ruin Duel. Let's go to the Ancient Ruin, just to, like, test out some damage. You know, just to find some dummies to kill that are not squishy, but can take a hit, okay? Now, the one main reason why I like Fairy Sanctuary, I told you guys in my last video, and it's actually a really, really fucking good combo. You pop it, boom, okay? Fucking spin to win. Spin to win. Spin to win. And, like, they cannot run away because they're being hit by Fairy Sanctuary. See, they're being slowed and shit, and I'm in my ogre mode. They can't run. Like, I can just keep on tracking them down and then just spin to win. It's fucking amazing. It's glorious, okay? And then when my cooldown runs out, I pop it again into the next transformation, and then just rinse, wash, repeat. Just keep the pressure on, keep the pressure on, okay? Now, when my thing runs out, when I run out of transformations, I'm running out and shit, then maybe I would, like, start to kind of run away, like, but before the transformation ends, you want to top everyone off like that, and then just kind of run away, and then just set up on the outside and just start shooting away. Hope for the best, you know? So that's why I really, really like Fairy Sanctuary. It's extremely good. It's extremely good because it's like one of the only abilities that can remain active while you're in transformation. See, this enhanced Song of the Forest does not remain active. You can pop it and transform. Oh, it's actually still there. Check that out. Okay. See? Increased damage, so you can buff yourself. Oh my god, that's so fucking nasty, dude. Oh, what the hell, there's people here. Run away. You're gonna ruin my fucking testing. Fucking cunt. Okay. So you could, like, literally, right before the battle starts, you can, like, buff yourself, pop Fairy Sanctuary, and then just go in there, dude. And just go ham. It is so good, especially for a ranger. Rangers can buff their transformations. They could add slow, 50% debuff for their movement speed during their transformation, and then add like a nice dot of damage over time from it too, while in transformation. I cannot tell you how freaking overpowered that is. Rangers probably have the best transformations in the game, in my honest opinion. Now, as I was talking about enough about transformations. Let's talk about the build I was going for, how to optimize my damage. So I'm stacking damage percent, okay? Like, all my shit has damage percent now. A lot of it has damage percent. I'm gonna replace this guy with an Amaterasu eventually. But it's very, very nice. Now, if you actually think about it, wouldn't 1% damage be equal to 50 intellect? So every 50 points of intellect increases the character's damage done by 1%, right? So wouldn't you say that 1% damage is 50 intellect? So the 4% intellect I get from this guy would be 200 it would be equal to 200 intellect. Now, if I get my intellect to 2k, you would get diminishing returns on your intellect, but you can get past that diminishing returns by stacking damage percent. So right now my intellect is at 1400, and then when I get it to 2k, then I start stacking damage percent. So that's one way to get past those diminishing returns in the future. So that's what I've been doing. And then also the crit rate too is like the icing on the cake. I'm not relying on crit for damage, okay? I want a strong base, a very strong base. So right now my damage is at 1.84. It's very, very close to that 2.0 threshold for that nice double the damage. Almost there, but it's not quite there yet. However, if I were to pop my Enhanced Song of the Forest, I think it increases my damage by another 15%. Damage increase. It doesn't really tell you how much, but it increases your damage. But if we look at it in here, it says so 5% additional damage, and then an additional 10% damage here. So if I'm at like 1.85 and then I put my Enhanced Song of the Forest, wouldn't that theoretically double my damage? I think so. I think it stacks. It doesn't tell you, I wish it did, but because it's really stupid. It's really freaking stupid. You pop the Enhanced Song of the Forest, go into there, it does not change anything on your player card. Which is really unfortunate. I wish it did, but we just have to assume that it does, that it will get me to that nice 2.0 threshold for double the damage, and then when I crit on top of that, I'll do even more damage. Now that's my build that I'm rocking right now. Ever since cooking has come out, I've been actually cooking some dishes, and I found the perfect dish to use for my ranger. It is the perfect dish, guys, and it's called mashed potatoes, okay? It gives me attack, defense, HP, but my special attributes, it gives me final damage of 1500, guys. That is huge. That is so much. My final damage is 2017. Sorry, Graves, not right now. That is so much. I cannot tell you enough. Like, seriously, guys, 2000 final damage. So if I'm like attacking right now, I think without that I would be doing like 4000 per hit. So if you think about it, if I'm doing 4000 per hit without my final damage, wouldn't the final damage give me a nice 50% boost in attack? Like, that's how strong those mashed potatoes make me. It boosts my damage by 50%. That's more than any of the other fucking recipes will give you. Seriously, that's way more. That's like the best recipe for an archer because of the final damage alone. And it also affects your Fairy Sanctuary too. So now my Fairy Sanctuary is doing 6k instead of like 4.5k or 4k. It's insane. It's so freaking good. Now, the reason why I also think the mashed potatoes is ridiculously good for an archer is because I think that the crit modifies your final damage. See how I'm doing 7k? I'm doing 7k on these guys, right? And then I do my crit, fucking crit. Come on, crit. 1 second. 10k. So my crit damage is at 1.5 times. So if we multiply 7,000 times 1.5, you would get roughly 10,500. So from the hit markers and the damage I'm doing right now, 7k crit, 7k base damage, and then crit is like 10k, we can safely assume for the damage formula that final damage goes after your percent damage. So you have your base attack, then that is increased by your percent damage, and then after that your final damage is added on top of that, and then the crit comes last. Okay, now the base of the crit damage is at 1.5, and then you can modify the crit damage with other buffs too. So that makes it even more overpowered, okay? So just the mashed potatoes alone increases my damage roughly by 40 to 50%. Now when I do a crit, I increase my damage further by 1.5. 1.5. So like, that is so huge. That is ridiculously strong, in my opinion. So now that I'm optimizing my damage with mashed potatoes, and then I pop my Fairy Sanctuary, and then I go ham, and then just spin to win, I'm just doing like so much damage in my opinion. And like, the Fairy Sanctuary is doing really good. It's slowing down my enemies. I can stay close. I can, you know, basic attack them without fear of them running away because they're being slowed. It is really, really good. So yeah, guys. So that is how I'm working on my archer right now. In conclusion, I think archers have some of the best transformations in the game because they can buff their transformations with Fairy Sanctuary and enhance Song of the Forest, and then transform before battle, and they can just go in there. I honestly think that is very, very powerful, okay? So archers have some of the best transformations. Also, I honestly think that final damage is very, very underestimated in this game. I think that it is very, very good for an archer because, like, literally I can pop down my attack totem, I can put this down, and then boom, like, I have my mashed potatoes on. I'm doing like almost 10k per hit, like 10k crits on a fucking boss like that, and then I'm doing like 10k on the little guys. All I have to do is hit a player, like if the player has the same amount of defense and I'm doing the same damage on a player, all I have to do is like hit him, like if I'm lucky I crit him a lot, I just have to hit him like 10 to 20 times to do half his HP bar. And like the DPS is just so fast, I can literally just melt him down like really, really quickly if I'm not being contested or if there is no pressure on me. So I honestly think it's really good. Hopefully I can get my fairy arrow to do much, much more damage in the future, but we will see. We'll see. Maybe like down the line, in my opinion, the final damage, there will be diminishing returns on it, but right now, this is the time to be using it. Like, this is the time, in my opinion. You do so much damage with the final damage perk from the mashed potatoes, adding that extra 2k, and then finding out that that final damage is actually modified by crit. Extremely powerful. So yeah, guys, that's all I have to say for now. I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm doing with my build so far, how I'm trying to get stronger, even though I'm a Viscount 2. Don't let your BR title bring you down, guys, because it's all about knowing how damage works in this game, and you can still carry yourself by and not being a carry by knowing how to build your character. Alright, sure there will be pay to win that will do twice the damage, but that's because they're paying to win, okay? Eventually they're going to hit a wall, and you're going to, you know, catch up to them. Eventually it's going to happen, unless they release like higher tier cards. If you just keep playing and just keep getting the cards you need, you're definitely going to close the gap. I mean, the ceiling for free to play is unlimited. You can just keep getting stronger as long as you keep doing your dailies every day. So yeah, guys, that's all I have to say. We're hitting that 20-minute mark. I have to get going now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have to get going. Peace.